I wanted to do a startup for a very long time, probably since high school.
I don't think I can say that in two sentences.
Hi, my name is Jagriti Jetpani, and my research was on IT in startups. Keeping up with the spirit of entrepreneurship, I decided to do something outside the box. Over the last 2 weeks, I conducted 5 interviews with founders, co founders, CEOs, serial entrepreneurs, and an investor. And I'm glad I can share my findings with you today.
There's this cliche idea of what a startup is. It's like a bunch of friends in a garage or on a college campus get an idea, they put something together, and an MVP, and then the next thing you know, they give a pitch, and some venture capital firm wants to give them millions of dollars, and then they explode, right? Yes, a lot of people are for the dollar signs at the end. Some people are doing it for the right reasons. The incentives, I think, are kind of key there. It's like, where's the motive? Why are you doing what you're doing?
I started my own entrepreneurial journey in 1983 with two-man team and $10,000 rupees capital.
I think anybody can probably speak to this, but if you're doing your own startup, there might be programs where you can apply for and maybe you get in, but you have to be pretty have self-conviction to go do it.
I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My dad has his own business, so probably that's where the motivation lies in.
Took an extra credit project a little too seriously, and a few months after I graduated, my boss Shay just messaged me, "Hey, I want to start a company. Do you want to help me?"
He started this the first day of lockdown. There were 3 people in his class. Fast forward 2 to 3 years, we went full time last year.
Well, I need to probably help, put on some systems and processes to ensure that everyone's working smoothly, and ensure that all the effort that they are putting in, or even I am putting in, is directed towards the North Star matrix which we have for the company.
We audit artificial intelligence algorithms, and what I do is everything.
Essentially, yeah, that's like it's coding, building things, and talking to customers to see get feedback.
It used to be always 14, 16 hours a day of working. I used to spend the time only in two activities. One is client interaction and second is team building.
It is a major part of our culture, how we play around with technology as such, and that's not true to only the people in their respective domains. People do crisscross as well, and they ensure that they are having there's a knowledge sharing.
I think agile is probably the biggest one there.
I think if you want to try out something new, find a youngest team member, enters them with that responsibility, and just act as a problem solver for them.
If you really dig into some of the open source technologies coming out, or just stay aware like that, you can get a pretty good grasp of both what's trending right now and somewhat what's coming out in the future as well. But I think what's really important there is that a lot of times people get very caught up with the technology itself rather than realizing that it's a tool to provide value to your end customer.
So we also work with a lot of startups.
Right.
So we have third parties who are developing different things for us.
Every decade it became entrepreneur friendly. I think technology companies are getting very good tractions and good multiples.
I believe things have been changing fast since probably 2015, 2016 itself. In terms of people who are building in AI, I guess there are a lot of still open items that needs to be built.
There's a phrase in the startup world of when there's layoffs in industry, there's innovation in the layoffs, where it's this is where the startups come from. And I think we saw a burst of that in COVID, where people just kind of got creative.
Right. If you're talking to your customers, everyone recommends that you need to have a smaller cohort, go really deep into that, and then you horizontally scale once you have a PMF in that particular cohort.
We're constantly just on Google, on YouTube, just learning. We're looking at research papers all the time. We use a whole wide range of tools.
At the end of the day, the technology can't dictate what you build. It's the actual talking to the customers and having a deep understanding that does that.
But AI was secretly in the background all over the place, everywhere. Your iPhone will open up, that's AI that's looking at your face, right? But yeah, OpenAI really kind of perpetuated it significantly. So we knew about the risk before and the shortcomings, and that's kind of why we started. But it's so a phrase I like to say all the time is every algorithm is biased. The only question is, what are those biases? How bad are they? And who do they affect? If it's not big enough to really affect a group of people or not, that's for us to, that's what we do, is we try and figure that out. And then if it is, you need to correct and you need to enhance.
It was very important for us to ensure that what our product has adoption and people use the camera to see content. That's the AR piece of it. And we came out with like instant gratification, or maybe building out that in our own unique manner, which basically blends in with our product as well.
Like, people can get into AI ethics for the right reasons. I would say they probably always do. I didn't get a job because of this algorithm. I want to speak out about this. There's also this other side where it's all money driven.
Like I was saying earlier, sometimes we get so caught up in making it very agile and future proof that we don't actually build something quickly and get feedback from customers. So it's a very fickle balance. But working with cloud providers in order to use technology that can easily scale is very important there.
So I would strongly encourage anybody who is wanting to be on entrepreneurial journey to concentrate on product development rather than services. Services is easier than that because it is only so many people for at such and such rate per man month and such a revenue. So the growth, the scalability, all that is given. But products, you have to be a pioneer. You have to think in advance of time.
We are completely bootstrapped, so you've seen the scale. It's grown like 85 times, and that has happened through community only. But we have kind of accelerated that with the help of technology. So habit building is a lot easier when you have somebody pushing you, or when you have somebody who's doing it with you.
But this is very interesting that you identified habit building works better when someone's pushing you, and then you leverage that.
We should not invent a solution and then find a problem for it.
That's interesting. Once you have your customer, you get your new directions probably from them. So you don't walk alone, you walk with the whole team.
Yeah, but when it comes to failure, you own it.
It's yours, yes. I learned a lot from these conversations with forerunners of technology in the industry, and I hope you did too.